You guys have probably seen this guy online, Ashton, who has gone insanely viral due to him showing off his morning routine. And I haven't watched too many of his clips, although it's kind of hard to avoid the guy, honestly, if you turn on Instagram at all. But I did watch a couple of his morning routine clips, and I've seen so many different YouTubers respond and react to his morning routines. And by looking at the comments and watching these other people react to this, I've been noticing that there's a lot of talk around the idea of whether or not a morning routine is even beneficial. And I was somebody who never had a morning routine at all throughout my entire 20s and even early 30s. I'm 35 years old now. It wasn't until maybe 6 to 9 months ago that I really started to dial in on my morning routine. And I found some, I guess you could say, controversial truths about the idea around morning routine. And do you need to have a morning routine to be successful? Because if you look at somebody like Alex Hormozy, who talks a lot about fuck your morning routine, how much hours are you putting in at work? I've seen several different sides of this, and coming from somebody who was never the morning routine guy, and I guess you could say I've become that. There was a period in 2024 where I did 100 days straight of waking up at 4 a.m. and I did 365 days straight sobriety, gym every day, and a lot of other, I guess you could say, accomplishments. And so I wanted to share my thoughts on this because it's gotten to a point now where I genuinely believe that having a morning routine, having a routine, in my opinion, is essential for a man to ultimately become the best version of himself, to become the most successful version of himself. I don't think he needs to do it forever, but I do think that you need a routine. And I want to elaborate on this because I was just talking about this on a recent coaching call, this idea that the blueprint that you create for your morning or from whenever you wake up and the tasks that you go about in your day-to-day, the ability to have that structured out with start times and end times and making sure that they are difficult, uncomfortable, disciplined actions that you are doing on a daily basis. And there is some sort of tracking, some sort of documentation, some sort of reflection that you are doing on a daily basis in regards to that routine that you are running. The ability to do that day after day after day for an extended period of time. Like I said, you don't need to have a morning routine forever, but in my opinion, what I call the blueprint, right? If you join my program, we customize a blueprint for you that's aligned with your social and your business and your self-development goals. But the ability to have a blueprint and to track that and to do that day after day after day for an extended period of time, again, doesn't need to be for the rest of your life, but I do think that every man needs to do that to become the best version of himself. And here's why. Doing uncomfortable, disciplined actions consistently over and over and over and over again with reflection and adjustment, that's how you build character, okay? If I were to look at Alex Hormozy's thing where he says like, fuck your routine, wake up and work, I guess there's some validity to what he's saying because there's so many people that obsess with self-development that it's like they never really do the actual thing that would move the needle in their business. And I get that side of it, but also understand that there's a lot of people that can't even start their own business. They can't film the content. They can't work. They can't lock in for 16 hours in a row. The reason behind that is because they don't consistently set up their schedule to do uncomfortable things. You're not doing uncomfortable things. Your wake up time isn't at an uncomfortable time, right? Your sobriety isn't uncomfortable. You're not making uncomfortable decisions day after day after day and holding yourself accountable to those things and reflecting on them and adjusting and optimizing. That blueprint right there that I'm talking about, that routine, that's how you build discipline. You need to do that day after day after day consistently to actually become disciplined. Now you can take that and you could put it into any industry you want, any field, any niche, anything you want. You want to get good at ads, you want to get good at, I don't even know, taekwondo, you want to get good at piano, you want to get good at real estate. I don't care what the thing is. The guy that's going to succeed in any niche is a character who can make the disciplined decision consistently, right? And in any niche, it's just different degrees of decisions, right? Like if you want to get good at real estate versus piano, you're going to have to make different decisions and different actions. There's in any niche though, in any industry, if you're going to really excel at that thing, best believe that you're going to need to consistently make disciplined decisions. And so Do I think you need to have a morning routine every morning to be successful? No, I don't think you do. Like I could actually wake up tomorrow and probably sleep until 11 a.m. and then still get all my work done for the day. But I promise you that like the only reason I could do that is because I'm already a disciplined guy. I could get away with that now because I'm disciplined. The guys that don't need a morning routine, that don't need that consistency, it's because they're disciplined to some extent already. All right. But the only way that you actually create the character is through consistently making disciplined, uncomfortable decisions. If the only way I got good at social skills, cold approach, building social confidence, it was through consistent, uncomfortable action. It took me a really long time. It took me decades. I was dancing around doing the thing for a very long time. I think I could cut my progression in like a third of the time knowing what I know now, honestly. If I were to go back and redo it just with my brain, I could do it way faster, way faster. But the thing is, man, I just didn't have the discipline back then. I was turning to a lot of different vices, drugs, alcohol, weed, fucking like a lot of bad stuff in my day. I wasn't waking up early. I was very obsessed with being comfy in my day to day. I would wake up, I would hit the bong, I would go to work high, I would do a delivery job, I would commute to school. I would avoid uncomfortable situations of socializing with people. I would avoid situations with women. I would avoid everything. And the whole point of a uncomfortable morning routine is to start building discipline and already build momentum throughout that day as a guy who's doing uncomfortable things. When you can wake up at a time that's slightly earlier than what you're used to getting up at, when you can get into a cold shower, when you can hit a hard workout in the morning, when you say no to the snooze button, when you actually go through those first couple steps, man, not only do you feel really good, your self-talk starts going up, and now any other challenge that they throw at you throughout the day, it's just a lot easier to still hit those things. That's what it is. If I'm the dude who woke up at 11 a.m. and I just fucking pigged the fuck out for breakfast and, doom scrolled for another hour or two, sat on the couch till 2 p.m., would I be rested and satiated and able to go into a workday? Maybe. But I promise you, the dude who actually got up early and blasted out his fucking uncomfortable things, hit a cold shower, hit a hard workout, hit a clean meal, I'm going with that guy to actually get the task done for the day, right? And it's not even just about one day. I'm just talking about creating the character over time, right? At some point, does it make more sense to just wake up and go right into work? Maybe, but I could tell you even still to this day, I have complete freedom in my schedule. I could line it up any way that I want to. Any which way that I want to, I could create my schedule right now. I could even take probably weeks off and just fuck off if I wanted to. I still got up at 5:30 this morning. I'm up at the same time every single day. I have the freedom to do otherwise. I'm just telling you, there's just something about getting up early and just hitting the workout and hitting these other things in order. It just sets the tone for the rest of the activities you're going to do. Don't make the mistake of what Alex Hormozi said and have this fucking 6-hour morning routine that takes you till noon for the day, and then you're like shot, because I've made that mistake too. I think that's why Ashton Hall was getting a little bit of hate, because like he's up at 3:45 and like he's actually starting his workday at 9 or some shit. I don't know what it was, but don't go so crazy with the self-development stuff in the routine to the point where it's stopping you from doing the one or two main things that need to get done for the day. But dude, if you stack the first 1, 2, maybe 2.5, 3 hours of your day with uncomfortable shit, and that means you're waking up earlier and you're making disciplined decisions that's going to challenge you physically and mentally, that's how you create the character that you could then put into any industry, any niche, any field, and that guy's going to excel because you've built the character. You put me into any field, anywhere in the world, any industry, I'm very confident I could get success. It's because I trust myself to learn the thing quickly. I know that I can stay in uncomfortable situations, and I know I have the work ethic, the mindset, the self-talk, the discipline, the go-getter type of attitude that's needed to excel in any industry. And that was built in that blueprint. That was built through consistently going through that morning routine of making uncomfortable decisions, taking uncomfortable actions. All right, that's my view on morning routine. If you're not doing a morning routine, I would encourage you to start tracking that stuff, start scheduling it out, start trying to be more punctual, start start reflecting on how the previous day went and figure out what you could do differently today to just be 1% better. All right. If you want to work with me directly to build your social confidence to achieve the dating life of your dreams, I'd love to help you with that. I made a massive transformation over the last 10 years. I've coached 1,000+ men to do the same. You could click the link in the description, check out the in-depth video I've put together. There's a full training going over my journey, who I help, and how I can help you as well. Links down below. Check that out. That's all for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.